For freedom and justice I stand. America, I am a real American.
Politicopete here, back again. I have to make this video because watching the last night of the Republican National Convention last night, I was just disgusted, and I want to tell you why. When it comes to Democrats and liberals in general, they're all talking about free speech and rights, and everyone should be able to be tolerant of everyone else, and no one should feel excluded, no one should feel put down. You know, we all have to be careful with everybody's feelings. But amazingly, when it comes to things that they don't like, they have no problem trying to shut down the conversation. During Obama's speech last week, John MCcain put out a number of advertisements with John MCcain just looking into the cameras saying, you know, well done. This was a historic nomination for Barack Obama. Congratulations. Tomorrow we're going back at it, but for tonight, job well done. I mean, that was a real classy move, okay? There was nobody in the stadium that night that was giving Barack Obama any heckling or any problems, and they respected Barack Obama. They even, there was talk that they were going to release the name of the VP pick that night, but they decided against it because they really thought this is a historic evening, it's Barack Obama's night, let him have it, which I just thought was incredibly classy, showing the kind of class and dignity that John MCcain has. Also showing that he's trying to, you know, he's against Barack Obama's policies, not Barack Obama himself. Now, fast forward to the Republican convention. And last night, John MCcain accepted the Republican nomination for president. It was a shining moment for him. He knows the country is divided. But then, while he's trying to talk, within the first 10 minutes, there was 2 or 3 people who had disguised themselves as delegates somehow and got into the convention. One guy standing up in the rafters saying John MCcain votes against vets, which is disgusting, okay? Disgusting when you think about what this man has done for this country, what this man has gone through, how quickly, I'm sure everyone's heard this story, but for those who haven't, John MCcain was offered release from Vietnam when he was a prisoner of war. And there were people in front of him who had been there a lot longer, and the code of honor is that you don't go home until the people before you go home. And so he refused to go home, and he was beaten within an inch of his life because of it. And that's why when you see John MCcain can't raise his arms over his head, that's why, because he refused to be used as propaganda and refused to disgrace the country and you know, bring dishonor on himself. The man is full of integrity, okay? And one thing you can't mess with him with is veterans. I mean, it's so ridiculous. So here's this guy up in the rafters. John MCcain votes against vets. Of course, the mainstream media loves this, and they are all over him, showing him over and over again. Okay. Then as soon as, you know, again, John MCcain's people let him stay up there, which again is amazing. Then all of a sudden, this lunatic lady comes screaming down the stairs, yelling about the war, and she's escorted out. And this is within the first 10 minutes of John MCcain's speech. So my question for all you liberals out there is, if John MCcain is so out of touch, and John MCcain, as Barack Obama said last week, just doesn't get it, then what's the harm of letting the old man talk? Oh, that's right, because that would be something you guys are against. You guys are so much for free speech as long as it's your free speech, as long as it's your liberal agenda. But as soon as somebody else wants to bring up anything that goes against your views. You guys are vile, and you guys, and I'm talking about in general. There's always specific people who aren't. But I live in a very liberal part of the country. Okay, very liberal, and I walked out the other day with I had a McCain 2000 shirt on. Okay, because I'm old school like that, and wasn't starting with anybody. Didn't want any trouble. Just getting something out of my car, and this lady who I've had some contact with in the past is walking down the street. She's a friend with one of my other neighbors. And she sees my shirt on, and she says, "I can't believe you would wear a shirt like that. You shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed to wear a shirt like that." And basically all I did was I said, "Hey, we're all Americans," and I do believe that. I believe that people who are behind Barack Obama love their country, and I believe that people who are for John MCcain, like I am, love their country. Okay, the question is the vile hatred that liberals spew at conservatives. So they're all on emotion. Okay, and so the lady's saying, I thought they interviewed people before they let people move in around here. I saw you have a McCain poster on your car. You should take that down, and really just kind of laid into me while she's walking her dog. I wasn't even doing anything. I was just going to get something out of my car. And the way they treated Sarah Palin through this whole thing, whether you believe her to be the best choice or not, the fact that you're going into her personal life. You want to talk about her policies, that's totally cool. But going into her personal life, all this stuff about her daughter, all this stuff about, is she, because she's a mom, can she be, can she be vice president? She only had a little bit of executive experience. Guess what? A little bit of executive experience is a lot more than Barack Obama has. Barack Obama has never run anything, ever. Okay? And, but the whole idea that, she's a mom, what about her young children? Barack Obama has 2 young children. And it's not like Michelle Obama is Miss, I'm going to sit by the wayside and just bake cookies. She's not like that either. She's like Miss, head of a hospital or something like that. She's definitely going to be out there working hard. And they're both out there on the campaign trail. So, there's no discussion about Barack Obama's young children and what will happen to them if their dad becomes president. So it's totally sexist. And, so that's all. But, a little thing about Sarah Palin, and I'm very proud to announce this here, is that I just read on MSNBC.com that Us Weekly last week released a cover with Sarah Palin on it saying babies, scandals, and, basically babies and scandals, and a picture of Sarah Palin on the cover. Do you know that they've gotten, the numbers are disputed, but there are thousands of people who have revoked their subscriptions because of that. And their advertisers have been called saying how dare they support a magazine that would do that to a woman like that. So guess what? Not everybody who reads Us Weekly are liberal Democrats. And good for them. Good that they should stand up and fight for that. So there you go. Liberals, if John MCcain has no ideas, let the man talk. Stop with all your protests and all your, getting in the middle of the convention. Let the man talk. We let Barack Obama talk. Even though we think he's an empty suit, we let him talk. Okay? Don't be afraid of ideas. Don't be afraid of discussion. And that's what usually drives me nuts more than anything else. You guys don't want to discuss anything. You guys just want to scream. You guys want to carry on. And you don't want to have an intellectual discussion. So that's about it. And also one last thing. As of this morning, the average of all the polls out there is basically tied up within the margin of error. So game on, people. Game on. Of course, I want to hear your comments or discussions. Peace.